gon' defend it. We gon' defend it. We gon' defend it. Homie, this side. Homie, this side. And we gon' defend it. We gon' defend it. Let me hear say, his squad, 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 his squad. We gon' defend it. We gon' defend it. We gon' defend it. Homie, this side. Homie, this side. And we gon' defend it. We gon' defend it. Let me hear say, his squad, 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 his squad. I got the whole squad with me now. Train to go. Come play games if you want to. Try to crash our house, you done took the wrong route. We gon' crash in you like a stunt dude. Check y'all like 1, 2. Tap your head like your uncle. You wanna ride, stay buckle. It get loud down here, get wild down here. Turn the field to a jungle. Never disrespect the squad that's defended by a line. And some beasts on the feast on the opposition. Another line in the back, singing to the ER. Just in case you got through the first line, we tripping. But if for some reason it get crazy, I got watchers on the corner for my safety. Everybody here well coached. Change the weather under pressure, stay cool like an AC. Woo! But we still make heat. Woo! Was you trying to play me? We be 3 plus AD, but I'm a fool so low. Can't nothing break me. Be great, only way to do great things. Hit hard, only way to make a statement. Come up in our territory, make a payment. Or be in debt with your neck. We gon' defend. We gon' defend. We gon' defend. We gon' defend. Homie, this side. Homie, this side. And we gon' defend. And we gon' defend. Let me hear say, his squad, 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 his squad. We gon' defend. We gon' defend. We gon' defend. Homie, this side. Homie, this side. And we gon' defend. We gon' defend. Let me hear say, his squad, 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 his squad.
I hit them boys. We throw them toys. That's in that QB. We them boys. We the realest. We go gorillas. We out here, homie. You gon' feel us. Don't make me come down. In that box. Like I'm red. I knock your socks. Won't play y'all boys. Cause we some bullies. We'll take your cookies. Cause y'all some rookies. I'm in the building, me and Shot Jones. We do lane, we don't play zone. We play that man, so guard your hands. I see your eyes, you're scared
we
man.
Gon' defend it, we gon' defend it, we gon' defend it, we gon' defend it. Homie, this side, homie, this side. And we gon' defend it, we gon' defend it. Let me hear say, his squad, 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 his squad. We gon' defend it. We gon' defend it. We gon' defend it. Homie, this side. Homie, this side. And we gon' defend it. We gon' defend it. Let me hear say, his squad, 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 his squad.
Man, y'all been part of the Buffet Boys. Shout out Solo D. Shout out to DWA. Let's eat.
Yo, Solo. You know they been saying you gotta make a hit squad part 2. But you know, man, we hungry this time, man. We gotta eat this time.
In the beast mode, AFC was trying to rap up the East Coast. Take shots, fall back, then reload. Get the powder, time to slap up these foes. Anytime we hit the field, then we must play. Any boys going hard, man, I must say. Try to stay on one route like the busway. Trying to eat teams up like a buffet. Eat the offense like a buffet. Eat the quarterback like a buffet. Eat the running back like a buffet. Eat the wide receiver like a buffet. Eat the O-line like a buffet. Eat the coach up like a buffet. Eat the fan base like a buffet. Stay on one route like the busway. I say and not quote. Go hard or go home is the motto. A pick or a sack is the lotto. Let's cook them like Emerald Lagasso. My bad, Lagasse. He going south, that is not me. Hungry for greatness, so I eat. Stay in my zone like a Bobby. Jumping off the edge like E and Shaq. Straight pressure, never easing back. Protection on the way you gon' get wins. Split through the middle like Wilkins. Got some backers on the back that's gon' back me up. Straight action, we be acting up. Tell Coach Drop his best plan, but it still get snatched by X-Man. Cause we back in the beast mode. AFC was trying to rap up the East Coast. Take shots, fall back, then reload. Get the powder, time to slap up these foes. Anytime we hit the field, then we must play. Any boys going hard, man, I must say. Trying to stay on one route like the busway. Trying to eat teams up like a buffet. Eat the offense like a buffet. Eat the quarterback like a buffet. Eat the running back like a buffet. Eat the wide receiver
it like a buffet. Eat the whole line like a buffet. Eat the coach up like a buffet. Eat the fan base like a buffet. Eat like a buffet.
Eating like a buffet, it be a long day. We ain't gon' play. Yeah, them boys green, no subway. Pick the ball off X and BJ. I don't care about what he and she say. That's nonsense. Check the replay. I work overnight and it's early morning, but I'm turned up cause it's game day. They don't really want it with your boy. O-line really get destroyed. Ex-Patriot, Cal Van Noy. Put him on his butt, hurt hemorrhoids. What's a grown man to a boy? Jam him at the line, yeah, you the throw it. Discipline coach Brian Flores. Never getting rattled to the boys. Fans better pay attention, even social distance. I got a witness and you know we blitzing, but mind your business. Christian Wilkins on the line of scrimmage. Far from timid, push it to the limit, rev the engine. You know we gotta get it, Nick Nina. You know we gonna big it, bang it. Take it to the business. Fans up till my life is finished. Say it with my chest cause I'm in it. A lie, no why, I admit it. New era, yeah, our division. A win streak, we just keep on winning. So a loser, tell them suck a limit. Bills with the Jets and the Winged. Miami top dogs where you hear me.
Back in the beast mode. AFC was trying to wrap up the East Coast. Take shots, fall back, then reload. Get the powder time to slap up these foes. Anytime we hit the field, then we must play. And these boys going hard, man, I must say. Try to stay on one route like the busway. Trying to eat teams up like a buffet. Buffet. Eat the offense like a buffet. Eat the quarterback like a buffet. Eat the running back like a buffet. Eat the wide receiver like a buffet. Eat the whole line like a buffet. Eat the coach up like a buffet. Eat the fan base like a buffet. Stand one round like the busway.
So low, so low, so low, deep. So low, so low, so low, deep.
You already know, man. We're out here with the legend, man. Live and direct, man. Pat Chain, and it's going down, man. Solo DWA.
What's up, man? Shout out to Miami Sports Music.
It's the new anthem for the new era. Fins up.
Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit it. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit it. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit it.
It's the new era and we back up in the mix.
Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit it. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit it. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit it.
It's the new era and we back up in the mix.
But throw it up. Throw your foe up in the sky. Throw it up. Let them know that we gon' ride. Where you from? We be reppin' worldwide.
DWA, stay loyal till we die.
But it's the come up. We been down for a minute. This the come up. We been reppin' that consistent. This the come up. Now the world gotta feel it. Reppin' so loud, whole world gotta hear it. New era. Dolphins on the cliz-out. Tick, tick, tiz-out. Till we reach the tiz-out. This a never stiz-out. Reppin' till we drizz-out. So low D, I be reppin' with this hip-hop. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit.
It's the new era and we back up in the mix.
Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit.
It's the new era and we back up in the mix.
It's the new era and we back up in the mix. Ain't no more relying on fits. It's time for Tua to get us lit. That's why we got Waddle at 6 and Jalen Phillips is a brick at 36. We got Javon Hollins batting hit stick. Eichenberg protecting hips. 2 whole years and he ain't slipped. Hunter Long, he got that gritter, triple threat, he's so legit. Garner Coleman, Jared Doaks, the 7th round was such a gift. That's why we toast, that's why we sip, that's why we reppin' MSM. Miami sports music, don't confuse it, don't abuse it. Unless you want a new contusion, real talk, ain't no illusion. Solo D started a movement, MSM the institution. TD Fins the contribution, yeah, we started a new unit.
Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit.
It's the new era and we back up in the mix.
Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit.
It's the new era and we back up in the mix.
MIAMIDOLPHAINs where do I begin? I've been rapping since a kid. If you rapping, then we can.
TWA, if you reppin', then we can.
Welcome to Persianville. We asking what would Shula do? He would take the narrative and spin it like a hula hoop. He say let it Coach Flow. Coach Flow gon' do his thing and he gon' bring it to it in and to it. Come and change the game. Watch the squad ball out. Got the fans all excited. Coolers out. Grills on. Got the tailgate ignited. It's the Aquahorn Society. They know we stay united. DWA. We be down and started right. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins.
It's a new era and we back up in the mix.
Who that?
So low, so low, so low.
Try to tell. You feel me? But that's how we put it down. We put it down every time. When it's time to show up for the fans, we out there. You dig?
They know it's coming. Yeah.
Yeah, out here with it, man. Let's go, DWA, man.
I know the whole city rising. A little early, it's a bit surprising. Business moves, now we enterprising. Switch it up, now we improvising. Go to get in the winter column. Whole squad been trained to go. Fins for life, we throw the foe. Singing this just to welcome bro. To a time, to a time. Time to grind, time to shine. To a time, to a time. To a time, to a time. To a time, to a time. Time to grind, time to shine. To a time, to a time. To a time, to a time. My intuition told me this. To trust the coach, he holds the gift. He knowing when to go with fit. So we knowing when to switch. This year we got the golden pick. Time to see what that pick about. Bad vibes get sent out. Only fans up in this house. We been waiting, yeah, we been patient. Now it's time to cash out, no discount. Super Bowl, yeah, we in route. I don't know when, but it's close. I don't want to overhype, but I just know I like it. So excited, you gon' notice now. You should notarize it. They say tour from that rock. Shout out to Samoa and Island. It's time to lay the smack down. You think you Dwayne Johnson. Time to be the people's champ. Hit them with the people's elbows. Stick together like it's Velcro. You think you could stop us? Hell no, all day I dream about sports. I think I need some Chateau custom with some Dolphins colors. Just to let them know we here. Yeah. I know the whole city riding. A little early, it's a bit surprising. Business moves, now we enterprising. Switch it up, now we improvising. Go to get in the winter column. Whole squad been trained to go. Fins for life, we throw the foe. Singing this just to welcome bro. To a time, to a time. Time to grind, time to shine. To a time, to a time. To a time, to a time. To a time, to a time. Time to grind, time to shine. To a time, to a time. To a time, to a time.
To a time, to a time. Really hope he the man. Hope we found us a gem. Like the Heat found Bam. Wanna take time to thank Fitz, cause he put on the show. But the young man up, in the whole city know. Time to catch all the blessings. Cash out on the investment. Ball out, don't choke. Fins want all the smoke. Chris Gregg gave hope. Coach flow like spoke. Damn Marina still a GOAT. But to a man on go. Watch to a man throw. Watch to a man scope. Watch to a man dish shoes that we never ever seen before. Fans up, let's win. Born ready for a ring. Maybe 3, 4, 5, 6. It's damn we can use 10.
I know the whole city riding. A little early, it's a bit surprising. Business moves, now we enterprising. Switch it up, now we improvising. Go to get in the winter column. Whole squad been trained to go. Fins for life, we throw the foe. Singing this just to welcome bro. To a time, to a time. Time to grind, time to shine. To a time, to a time. To a time, to a time. To a time, to a time. Time to grind, time to shine. To a time, to a time. To a time, to a time.
So low, so low, so low. So low, so low, so low.
Dolphins, Dolphins.
Hey guys, I'm Danny Johnson, CEO at TPP, the Positive Porpoise.
I'm Jason Miller from Fins Up SoCal Fan Club.
I'm Scott Howell from Atlanta Dolphin Club.
Mark Angelo, NorCal Dolphin Club.
And you're listening to Clock Blockers, Miami fans' #1 morning show.
Run it, 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 run it.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Stephen D, live on the #1 Miami fan morning show. I'm talking about Clock Blockers, baby. What is going on? How's everybody doing? It's a beautiful Monday morning, live on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. I want to say good morning to my Fins family and my Fin laws. What is up? How y'all doing? Y'all enjoying this beautiful Monday, this Victory Monday? I'm enjoying this Victory Monday. It is still awesome, still amazing. And you know what the best part is? You. Talking about you guys. You all are the best part of this right here. Look, man, we got a great show lined up for you today. This morning, we have an amazing show lined up for you today. We are going to have the should be, will be, Hall of Famer, my man, none other than Richmond Webb will be in the building with me here in about 10 minutes. So I'm super excited about that. So get ready for that. First thing I need you guys to do, though, is I need you guys to do a few favors for me. First thing I need you guys to do, make sure y'all hit that like button. Go hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed already, I'm going to be so mad at you. Hit subscribe. Subscribe now. Come on. It costs nothing to subscribe. When you get to the homepage, all you do is you just hit that subscribe button and make sure the little bell, the notifications bell, you guys hit that and turn it on for all notifications. That way you guys get hit anytime there's a new episode or the Honorable Solo D comes out with a new hit, just like he did with my man TD Fins Talk. Shout out to TD Fins Talk and that new anthem. Man, it is straight fire. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Yeah. I love it, man. It's good stuff. Love it a lot. Look, the other thing I want to make sure y'all do is make sure you hit that like button. Big deal. If you guys haven't hit that like button already, make sure you guys do that right now. Hey, I have a family here. PHAMILY. Family. Just like they say I'm Fast and Furious. Family. Except it's about the Fins. And I have a lot of them here. I have my man like A-Rod. A-Rod is a family member. Who else I got up here that's family? A-Rod. Chef Zhu. Always Chef Zhu. Stetson. Hit that like button. Anthony. What's up? Fins Doc. Look, I want y'all to become family. Just like my guys right here who are part of the best universe in the world. I'm talking about the MSM Podcast Network. Make sure you guys sign up today to become a member. All right. It's awesome. You can't go wrong with signing up to become a member of the YouTube page. We have a lot of great stuff for you. Solo tried to get a link for you set up this weekend. He was having an issue with it. So that should be set up hopefully in the next day or two. He's going to get that figured out today. Talk to customer service. And hey, look, it's always stuff behind the scenes, right? So we're going to get that link. That one of the perks you get for signing up to become a member is a discount off of the website. And we're going to get that for you today. Hopefully, if not today, tomorrow. And I know I said we'd have that last week. We had some issues with it. We'll get that set up for you. Want to remind everybody, we have an amazing sponsor. Who is this sponsor? Let me tell you who the sponsor is. The sponsor is Tail Greeter. If you don't know who Tail Greeter is, well, let me ask you. You guys like tailgating, right? We get to still do that in South Florida, all right? A tailgate is a way for fans to express their love and passion for a team and city. The community and the parking lots allow everyone to be themselves no matter where they're from or what team they root for. When it comes down to it, there's no denying the allure of the game day experience, and tailgating is the glue that holds it together. Guys, go to tailgreeter.com. You guys see how it's spelled there. TAILGREETER.com. And when you guys get in there in the search bar, what I want you guys to type is East 32 Dolphins Tailgate. Make sure you guys go to East 32 Dolphins Tailgate and check out my man Cam, who's got the #1 tailgate at the Hard Rock, whether that's Hurricanes, Dolphins, it doesn't matter. My man's got it, and it's a great tailgate. And this year, at least live for the first week in that Buffalo game, week 2, yours truly is going to be doing a live pregame show from there. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be an amazing time. So make sure you guys sign up to become. It's got food, drink, all that. You guys sign up, and y'all get into one of the hottest exclusive tailgates of the 305. That's right. I'm talking about East 32 Dolphins tailgate. Make sure you guys go follow Tail Greeter at Tail Greeter on all social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You know what to do. Go follow. They're a great, great company, and they're a great, great sponsor, and I want to thank them for being part of this wonderful, amazing morning show. All right? All right, now that we got all that out the way, I want to remind everybody, tomorrow, we are going to have the number 1 Spanish-speaking podcast out there, and that is going to be Hellfins. Hellfins is an amazing Spanish-speaking podcast. They are every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you guys go check out my man Armand, Chochos, and Paris. They are going to bring you the latest update for Game 2 in Atlanta, which we're going to be talking about here momentarily. So make sure you guys go check it out. If you speak a little Espanol, go check them out. Also want to remind everybody, too, we got a great podcast network here and a great affiliates. We got K Flexin. Make sure you guys go check out my man K Flexin. Doug at Dougly Do Wrong. Love Doug. I was on his in-stream for about 5 or 10 minutes on Saturday night. Big shout-out to Doug. TD Fins Talk, as always, the man, the GOAT, the myth, the legend. Make sure you guys check him out, too. Also, Wade, What Would Shula Do? He should be coming out with a new episode before the start of the kickoff. And every morning, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the podcast network. Myself, Clock Blockers. Make sure you guys go check all that out. All right, now, if you guys want to donate to the channel and help the channel grow, there's a few different ways you guys can do that. You guys can hit the YouTube live super chat button, which is at the bottom of your chat, the little money sign. You guys can also do PayPal, MSM Podcast Network, and you guys can also do the Cash App, $, MSM Podcast Network. And then the last thing, man, make sure you guys follow me on social media at Stephen D. SKPL. All right? All right, now that I got all that up, I want to say good morning to everybody in the chat that I try to do every morning. Douglas Bigler's in the building. What's up, Doug? Andravius, what's up? How are you? Cap for Life, Innes, Slim Pickens, Ronnie N. Pamela is in the building. Is Ball Game here? What's up, Ball Game? If Ball Game's here, what's up, man? Roman Soldiers, Sway 2387. Samaj, how's everybody doing? EM Baller. Man, we got a lot of people in the chat box this morning. I feel like y'all are super excited. I don't know if it's me. Big John Stud 007. What's going on, man? How are y'all doing? Bernard is here too. I don't want to count you out there, Bernard. You know why this is the number 1 Miami fan morning show? Because I include Miami fans. Clock Blockers love the new Solo D song. Totally wrong the way totally wrong way to say it. It's all right, Pamela. I knew what you meant. It is a hot song, man. TD and Solo did their thing on that track. Throw them fins up. It's good stuff. All right. Well, look, man, let's without further ado, let me kind of get started. And hopefully I'll be able to roll into my man Richmond Webb coming on in here. Saturday night, the Dolphins had their second preseason game, and it was their first home preseason game, their only one, actually. But it was pretty cool. It was a night game down at the Hard Rock, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kickoff. And let me tell you, it was good. It was real good. At the end of the third quarter, the Dolphins were up 30-3. 30-3 at the end of the third quarter. And it was good stuff, man. You know, Tua Tagovailoa went 183 yards, 16 for 23, and 1 touchdown. And just the boy looked good. He looked good. Jacoby Brissett went 8 for 8, 99 yards, and a touchdown. Okay? And then Reed Sinnett went 2 for 2, 7 yards, and he got a touchdown. All 3 of our quarterbacks had a thrown touchdown. It was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. And for those of you who are kind of worried about the running game, don't be. Don't be. Malcolm Brown had 10 carries for 43 yards, averaged 4.3 yards a carry. If you guys were looking at me, what I want to let you know is you guys have a really good one in Malcolm Brown, Myles Gaskin, and Salvin Ahmed. Gaskin had 4.5 yards per carry on 6 carries and 27 yards, but he also had a touchdown. Malcolm Brown also had a touchdown on 10. Look, I said on Friday that if the Dolphins, or last week, that if the Dolphins averaged over 4 yards per carry this year, that our run game would be super fun. And all 3 of the running backs, with the exception of Salvon Ahmed, who only got 2 carries, averaged over 4 yards per carry. Jordan Scarlett did, Myles Gaskin, Jared Dokes, Malcolm Brown. It's awesome. Cap for Life said, with all this drama being said about the O-line, Tua hasn't been touched yet this preseason. Make sure you knock on wood, Cap for Life. I'm not playing with you. Okay? I don't play like that. I'm knocking on wood right now. Yes, but it's true. It's true. The holes on the offensive line, they're there. Don't get me wrong, but I think talent is overcoming it when you look at it. And you can even go back to the first preseason game. It's there. Receiving yards. Mac Hollins, my boy Mac Hollins. If y'all don't know who this kid is, or y'all don't like this kid, y'all better get on board, because this man is going to make the squad. He's going to make the squad. It's going to be awesome. 4 receptions for 49 yards. Mac is a beast. I love Mac, and it looks like Tua loves him too. I've been saying this for months now, that he was the guy that I really wanted to make this team. And let me tell you, this training camp and preseason, he's showing why he's going to make this team. And he's awesome. He's a good guy. And he's a great locker room presence. And I really just want to keep on seeing him do his thing. We're going to talk about that with Richmond today, about the wide receivers, and we're going to go into details of all of them. Gaskin had 4 receptions for 44 yards and a touch. Gesicki, 2 receptions for 43 yards. Averaged 21 yards. Look, man, for some reason, those long stride yards, the boy is just straight up throwing it there. It's good stuff, man. It is just straight good stuff. Like, he's hitting them in stride on like 20-plus passing yards. I mean, Tua and Gesicki, you're going to see a lot of long passes this year. Big connections between the two. And it's going to be good. I said, and let me kind of take back something I said earlier this year. I believe that I didn't think Gesicki was going to maybe even be here because of everything, and Hunter Long and the rest. Here's a reality. I want everybody to know this. He does not play tight end. He's been playing all his snaps from the slot position. Okay, let's just get that straight. But Gesicki, when he's on, the boy is on. But he is not a tight end. He doesn't play out of the tight end. He plays out of the slot a lot. Point blank, Gesicki's a wide receiver. Let's just get that. Let's call it what it is. And but he does look good. He does look good. All right. Well, look, guys. Without further ado, let me bring on the man, the myth, the legend himself, my man Richmond Webb. What's up, Richmond?
Hey, good morning, Stephen D. How you doing, sir?
Good morning to you, man. How are you?
Man, I can't complain. It's Monday morning.
Thank you so much for coming on last minute, man.
Oh, yeah. It's been a minute, but I think everybody's excited, and especially the way the Dolphins played Saturday night. I watched the game, and
you were tweeting too. I saw you tweeting.
I always, I try to tweet I don't tweet a lot during the week. I'll retweet what people say and this and that. But during the game, I try to interact with people. So yeah, I always do. That's pretty cool with me. So.
Well, look, man. Let me just kind of let's start from the beginning. What are your thoughts of the game? What stuck out for you? And then we'll get into the details of some of the players and the positions.
For me, what I've been paying attention to more is the offense versus the defense. I'm not really concerned about our defense.
At all.
I think that's the strong point. So, but to come out the second game against Atlanta and move the ball down the field consistently a couple of drives, that's what you want to see out of your first team offense. And I also like the way that Tua was getting the ball and going through his progressions and getting the ball out quick, hitting receivers. And it was a little bit more of an up-tempo offense, but that seems like that fits the Dolphins, and he seemed very comfortable in that. I know we had a lot of receivers that were hurt or didn't play.
7 wide receivers didn't play.
But you know what? The guys that had that opportunity, they took advantage of it. So,
they took advantage big time.
And that's what you got to do. And so, you don't want to show your whole offensive scheme, but you want to use some of your base stuff and see if you can execute it and, get ready for the first game. But I came away highly impressed. The offensive line played pretty good. They had a few pressures, but they just got to continue to work. But overall, I thought they played pretty well.
Look, I think you hit the nail on the head. My overall perception of Saturday night was Tua again progressed. He looked better than he looked the week before, and obviously he looked so much better than he did last year. I thought his progressions looked really good. Like you could even see on the touchdown pass to Gaskin, like him stepping up in the pocket, then getting out of the pocket. And you can see from the beginning of that play, he looks to his right, he looks at his one. I think Gaskins was the third or fourth option, and it was awesome. He just looks like he, and stepping up in the pocket and not feeling the pressure, or not getting rattled by the pressure. That's a good thing too.
That's good.
And I didn't see that last year.
Well, and I tell a lot of people, I thought he did a tremendous job just trying to get back from a major injury to be able to play. But even though he got back, your body's got the reflexes, the muscles, and all that's got to get back to how you were before. And even though he played, I don't think he was back to where he felt like he was the old Tua he was in Alabama. But he just busted his tail and worked hard to get back to do that. Because a lot of people were saying, oh, you shouldn't do this, do that. But, he did that. But you can tell that having this offseason to work, strengthen his body, get back into it, that I think a lot of people that were saying we should have never drafted this guy is going to change their opinion pretty quickly.
Well, let's kind of talk about the offensive line. Hence, I have you on here. Guys like Solomon Kinley, Liam Eichenberg, Michael Dieter, Robert Hunt, Austin Jackson. Tell me what you saw from the O-line. Here's a reality. Here's a stat for you.
Okay.
The running backs have been averaging over 4 yards per carry in the 2 games. Over 4 yards. And so, we can say what we want, but at the end of the day, if you're averaging, in my opinion, over 4.5 yards per carry, your offensive line is acceptable, and your running backs are doing what they're supposed to do. Would you agree?
Yeah, they are, and they're playing much better. And even this year, I think Skur is a new addition. When you keep having guys come in, I think I even seen Eichenberg maybe working a little bit at left tackle this past game. So it's I think the middle is really, really solid, and they're working on those 2 tackle pieces. Jackson didn't play bad. I think he had a pressure, but overall he played pretty good. I kind of questioned that holding call they called on him when they ran that stretch play to the left.
I agree too. I said the same thing when it happened. I was like, really?
It was close, but a lot of people was like, no.
It's preseason for the refs too.
They're
still.
I just like interacting with people. I'm like, I don't get everything right, but I give you my opinion. But I just love interacting with people. But a lot of people will be like, oh, if Richmond said it's not holding, I'm like, nah, ain't that serious.
Richmond did say that. Richmond said.
I'm just giving you my opinion. If you disagree, I can say, okay, we still good at the end of the day. So, but. Man, it's always.
But you like up the middle. You like Dieter's doing good at center. and you see that going well there. He's probably going to be. It looks like he's going to be day one starter at center.
Yeah, and and I tell people this all the time. I can remember calling his name on draft day, but what really impressed me was it might have been the Dallas game his rookie year. But it was a game he came in. He was a left guard, and I think they had to play him at tackle due to injuries. And his mannerisms never changed, and he never. A lot of people say, "Well, man, I'm not used to being out here, and you put me in a bad position." I never.
He didn't get rattled.
I didn't see him get rattled. I didn't see him like pouting, like, why are y'all doing this to me? Y'all could have put somebody else out there. So I've always had a tremendous respect, and even when they brought the other guys in, I think he's continued to work, and I think maybe the center is a good fit for him because you got the two big guards right there, and he makes line calls. So yeah, he's playing pretty well.
Pamela said even Jason Taylor on the broadcast said it wasn't holding. And if Jason Taylor said it.
When you get a defensive guy said it ain't holding.
It wasn't holding.
That carries much more weight than me. You know what I'm saying? Because normally they always think we hold. So JT.
Well, it was funny. Goldstein, right? I think Goldstein was doing the play-by-play, if I'm correct. Okay. And he goes. Well, do you? Jason said, "Well, do you want me to come at this from a defensive standpoint or offensive standpoint?" Great. They had a great broadcast too. I was really impressed with Jason Taylor and that whole broadcast team there, and they sounded really good. Let me ask you another question. Let's kind of talk about the running back situation. So if you go back to preseason game 1, Malcolm Brown was having a difficult time getting past the offensive line, right? Like he was getting stopped in the backfield, stopped at the line of scrimmage, and he still showed some signs of that. Yeah. But he still averaged 4.3 yards per carry. And he had a touchdown and 43 yards on 10 carries. He didn't look bad. He didn't look bad at all. There were some plays that I was like, man, it's going to make me question him a little bit this year. But I think Malcolm Brown showed a lot of improvement from preseason week 1 to preseason week 2.
Yeah, you got to take into consideration too that I think the Bears defense is better than the Falcons defense at this point. So,
yep.
You got to factor in that, like you said, looking at his productivity and this and that, I agree he played much better the second game against first. And you want to continue to work because some games, that's how you get your averages to 4 yards. Some games you might average 5 yards a game. Some of them might be 3.5, right up under that sub 4. But you continue to work and as each game, this and that, that's what builds that average. But yeah, he played pretty well this last game.
On Friday, I went back through and I went to the 2020 average for running backs, and obviously Derrick Henry's at the top and some of those other big names. But aside from like the top 3, after the top 3, it averages like 4.6 yards per carry.
I'm good with that.
And I feel like if I can get in the top 10 at 4.5 yards per carry, I'm good. And so far the offense, I mean, look, 4.3 Malcolm Brown, 4.3 Jared Doaks, 4.5 Myles Gaskin, who, by the way, by far is the starter, and I have no problem. I think he's going to have a monster year this year, by the way, being in this offense.
Catching, running the football, he looked really, really impressive. I agree.
He looks so solid. He looks comfortable in this offense, and plays are designed for him, which are great.
And I think that's what you do as an offensive coordinator. You have your scheme or whatever, but you try to find plays that maximize the potential of each player. So if they kind of tailor or fit the running game to fit Gaskin, if he's going to get the majority of the snaps, that makes perfect sense. And that makes his production go up, and that makes the offense, that's just a team overall thing that's beneficial for everybody, even the defense, because the longer the offense stays on the field, able to score, time of possession, they get more rest, and you don't want your defense getting a lot of reps anyway. So it's a win-win all the way around.
I want to talk about wide receivers, but I want to skip that for a second. I want to take some time on the wide receivers. Let's go to the defense real quick. Sam Agavon, however you say his last name. The man, 11 tackles, 4 sacks, a safety. The kid just came out of nowhere. And I don't care that it's preseason, because even Jason Taylor on the play-by-play said, I've never even had a 4 sack game ever. And it just says a lot. This kid has come such a long way from being, the person that he was when he first came on this team, practice squad player, to what he is now.
Well, it just shows you that, a lot of guys look at it that if they don't make the active roster and they're on the practice squad, that's it. No, that's what we called it. It was a developmental. So you continue to work on your skills, hone your skills to get better. That maybe I didn't make the 53 this year, but I was close. And you make it the next year. But when you come out and have a game like that, you could have stopped at the man and just put all those in all caps and put a period. When you get a game like that, you got bragging rights. You can almost shut the room down when you say, well, I had 4 sacks, 11 tackles, blah, 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 in one game. Who's going to top that? That's almost like going all in on Texas Hold'em. What you got?
Look, Sam just looked – it was weird because it was funny. Jason Taylor was doing the broadcast, and I'm like, this looks like Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas all over it, because every play had Sam in it. It didn't matter what the play was. Sam was there, and and for me, Sam is at the moment on second, third string, maybe second, but he's elevated himself to eventually maybe playing a lot of snaps. And
and the other thing y'all look at too is not only are the Dolphins evaluating him, but that put a red target on you back when you come out and have those kind of stats. Other teams that possibly need a defensive lineman or whatever, they'll look and say, okay, let's look at who's going to get released. If you release a guy like that, he's probably not going to clear waivers, because
there's no way he gets.
Yeah,
he's on this roster. He's on this 53-man roster. There's no doubt in my mind. And if it doesn't happen, I'm upset. I'm really upset if that doesn't happen. And I don't get too upset with Greer. I think Greer makes a lot of the right decisions. So Greer, Sam is on this 53-man. There is room for him somewhere. Shout out to Chef Zhu, 36 likes, 64 people in the room. Hit that like button. Guys, hit that like button right now if you are liking what you're seeing with my man Richmond Webb in the building. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about the secondary. So the secondary looked really good yesterday. Nick Needham, who got hurt, and one of the 2 days of inter-team practices, made a really good play in the end zone to deflect a touchdown pass. I'm really impressed with the secondary, all the way down to the third string. They got something here in depth too, which is something they haven't had in years.
Oh, no question. And when I think the Dolphins know what they got. Like you said, X and Jones played very little. They don't have anything to prove. This is the time you let your younger guys get out there and get the reps and get the experience and make the mistakes so you can correct them in the film room. But that's the strength of our defense is the secondary. But the D line and the linebackers are not far off. But it's going to allow us to do what we did last year. And if everybody stays healthy, I can see us having a lot of turnovers and stuff, and the defense making plays like they did last year.
One of the fumbles that unfortunately Atlanta recovered was a hit. I can't remember who made the tackle, and people in the chat can remind me who made the tackle. But it was just a solid tackle, right? Like from a standpoint of, if you're teaching tackling drills to youth football, that's the way you do it. The guy's helmet went straight into the ball, and it was just a really good gang tackle from the rest of the defensive players just coming, to help the tackler there. I have to admit, you're 100%, you hit the nail on the head. We're going to see a lot of turnovers from this team this year. And the funny part is X-Man hasn't really played a lot. I think he played a couple of snaps, if I'm correct. And the starting defense they haven't been there. And the starting Eric Rowe, Cap for Life in the chat said Eric Rowe. Eric Rowe's had a solid preseason so far. And I feel like they're elevating each other's game too. Eric Rowe doesn't want to be the man left behind. Noah Igbenogany, There's been some plays where I've been like, man, Noah needs to do better. But at the same time, he's also made some plays where you're like, he didn't show that last year. So everybody's progressing. Everybody's getting better. And I think they're helping each other by elevating each other's play. Competition breeds competition.
I agree, and I think it's that the competition and everybody truly understands the defense. And even my man Nick Needham, he's been making plays the first 2 preseason games. So when you got that many playmakers out there and guys communicating and it's very unselfish play, and they celebrate no matter who makes the play. That's what you want. That's when you truly playing team football, and when you get that, you're gonna reap the reward. So I'm just waiting for the regular season. We got one more to go.
I know we got one more to go. All right, let's talk about a little special teams. Malcolm Perry did a lot of returns, 84 yards, 4 returns, averaging 21 yards on kick returns. Noah Igbenogany with 1, and Malcolm Perry with. So Malcolm Perry got a big look on special teams on Saturday night. Does he make this squad? Is he here, or is this something where they're just giving him a chance to show what he has left?
I think he has an opportunity, but I don't know when you got, you still have so many people that can do that. Like Waddle can do that. I don't know if they'll use him for that.
They did that first game, that first return, they had him. And I've been saying it since we drafted him. And everybody's like, you can't have a top 10 pick take returns. And I'm like, he's one of the best in the league. If you have him, use him.
He's a natural. He feels too comfortable back. I understand the concern of people saying, him getting injured or whatever. And I don't think they'll do it all the time. But even if they don't use him on kickoffs, I can see them using him on punt returns. He's just natural, and he's such a gifted athlete with that type of speed. He makes someone miss. He has that big playability that, can either swing the momentum or really put you right back in the game. I'll just say the defense, for some reason, gives up a touchdown, and they got to go right back to this guy, and he ties it back up. Like, he erases everything that the other team, he has that type of ability. So I definitely see him doing at least punt returns.
Here's a good segue. Let's get into the wide receiver room, because a big part as if Perry makes this team or not is what the wide receiver room looks like. We had 7 people out on Saturday night as far as like starters are concerned. Here's a reality, Rich. There is 10 guys on this roster that could be on NFL rosters today. And we can't keep 10 wide receivers. So tell me what you think so far about the wide receivers, who stuck out for you, and who are guys that are on the bubble, who normally in past years, there's no doubt they'd be top 6, top 7 wide receivers on a team like we've had in the past 20 years.
Yeah, I think the thing is the top 5 or 6 you can almost pencil in. But I've been impressed. Mac Hollins has played
so good.
You look at a guy like Perry, even Grant. It's not that he's not played well. It's just, man, it's just so much depth in that room. And I agree that the guys that doesn't make the Dolphins will definitely get picked up somewhere else. So I think some of the decision making toward the guys that might be the lower ones, can you play special teams, and what are the things you can do besides play wide receiver? Because you probably not going to get many reps at that, so you got to be able to play special teams. And I think that's the way the guys that's at the bottom of the totem pole make the team, is what can you contribute on special teams.
Here's something that I find very interesting. So there's 10 or 11 guys in the slot room at the wide receiver position. Let's kind of go down the list. You got Hollins, Kirk Merritt, Malcolm Perry, Jalen Waddle, Jakeem Grant, Robert Foster, and those are the wide receivers that played. And then if you look at, I said this when you were getting on, the offense plays a lot of the tight ends, the 2 tight end sets, or even 1 tight end. They're not playing from a tight end. They're playing from a slot position. So in my opinion, Gesicki's not a tight end. He plays a majority of the snaps from the slot. That's what he is. He's great in the open field. Tua loves to connect with him on 20-plus yard passes. But the reality is Gesicki is playing in the slot. So there is some guys like Kirk Merritt. Kirk Merritt is a guy that, in my opinion, there would be no doubt he would make this roster a couple of years ago. But now he's on the bubble. Now, there are rules to practice squad. Number one, there's going to be 10 practice squad players this year. 4 of them can be protected on a week-to-week basis. I don't know if people understand that. So there are 4 players that can be protected on the roster. There's only a certain amount of players that can be second-year guys. So Kirk Merritt is eligible for practice squad.
Okay.
Now the question is somebody like that, you can only protect them though from a week-to-week basis. So I'm not exactly sure the ins and outs, but they're like Tuesday at 4 p.m. You tell the league the 4 people you want to protect. Because I went in depth last night, like looking what the rules are for practice squad players. And I want to be able to keep some, but the reality is there's going to be a lot of teams that need wide receiving depth, and we have it. So maybe even a trade I could see happening.
Yeah, that's possible. And with a young man like Merritt, I saw him. He has some big playability. He's just a little raw.
He's raw. That's a good way to put it.
He's man, if you develop that young man, he could be one of the best. Not right now, but
you can see it though, and I can see it.
Got that ability, yeah.
3 yards, 3 receptions, 34 yards, and a touchdown in the game.
Yeah.
And then even guy like Robert Foster. Robert Foster had a touchdown, but he's got breakaway speed. He's got separation from the defender. He only had 2 receptions for 16 yards, but you can tell Foster is somebody who can provide depth on this roster. And then here's the other thing too, and this is something that I wanted to kind of talk about. The 7 wide receivers that haven't played or didn't play Saturday night, they would play if this was week 1 of the regular season. So it's not like these guys are really hurt.
They're not really hurt. And then the thing is, as a guy that's probably on the bubble, like I said before, this is your time to showcase to other teams in the event that you don't make the team. Like you said, teams are always going to have a need in different areas. It varies team by team, but this is a chance for you to have an opportunity to showcase what you possibly can do. And maybe if you don't make this roster, it's not a slap in the face of your receiver. It's just they just have so much depth, but you possibly can still make another team and still continue to play the game that you love to play.
So tomorrow is Tuesday, 4 p.m., the next set of roster cuts. So you will see, I think there's about 10 players they got to cut between now and 4 p.m. tomorrow. And every team does. So it'll be very interesting to see some of these other players. If you looked at the first round of cuts last week, it was a lot of guys that had, they were undrafted free agents, not getting. There was 1 or 2 players like Alfred Morris of the Giants got cut, I think, because of a salary issue, and he wasn't as good. They decided to dump him with younger guys there. But I think you'll see more of that in this round of cuts. Veterans getting cut because of salary, and the players that they have that are younger that are just as good a talent or right under them, and they're like, well, let's cut the money and progress the young player. Do you see the Dolphins making a dive into some of these cut players? O-line, I think we could still get somebody for.
I think they're still looking in the O-line. The Dolphins have done a pretty good job with, trading their acquisitions, even a draft, this and that. So Chris Greer does a very, very good job with that. So it wouldn't surprise me if you saw that, but I just don't know where he's going to pull it from. But
yeah,
knowing
they went out and got Greg Little from the Panthers, which I liked. I think it was low risk, high reward.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, have you watched Hard Knocks at all yet this year?
No.
Okay. So Hard Knocks this year is with the Dallas Cowboys, and it is my favorite show. I love Hard Knocks.
Okay.
The reason I bring this up, Richmond, is because they keep on showing clips of Jerry Jones, like with his hand in the cookie jar, like making his voice heard in on-field situations and on the field players. Like Do you think in any way, shape, or form Stephen Ross does this? That's my first question.
No.
I don't either. And how often does it happen in the NFL that an owner is putting their hand and on the field, decisions?
Well, I think most owners kind of let the GM and stuff handle that. There are certain. I remember Al Davis probably fit into that.
Warren Sapp said that he would call during games down to the field to change the play. That's crazy to me that happened. Could you imagine? Like, I don't know how you could ever work in an environment like that.
Well, you already know what you're going to get hit with. But they always said Al Davis loved speed at the receiver. So if you ran like a 4-2, 4-3, he always loved the deep ball. And that's all he, wanted to do. But
too bad he never had a quarter. Never mind. I'm not going to go there.
Yeah. So, but I see it's a few owners, but most of them, I think, let the GM and the head coach make those decisions. But every now and then, I can see an owner overriding and saying, no, we're going to keep this guy here. And normally that's, say, like a quarterback situation, kind of like when Tom Brady was in New England. I think he got another year or two because of his relationship with Robert Kraft, because there was always.
I feel like that relationship was hurt and damaged 2 years before it ended. There were rumors that Belichick and Brady did not like. I think there was a damaged relationship there those last 2 years of him being there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you played with Shula. You played for Shula. But you've also played in Cincinnati, right? And what are some of the differences of a GM coaching of playing for somebody like Shula? And Shula essentially was the GM here, right? He made a majority of the calls.
Yeah, and I played with Jimmy Johnson. He had a GM, but he worked real closely with the GM, and I believe they kind of made those decisions together. And I think it's the same way with
Flores and Greer.
I think long as when two guys can work together and it's not about ego and it's what's best for the team, normally you're going to have a lot more success. And that seems like Greer and Flores really work well together. It's not about, I brought this guy in or I call this and we decided to do this. It's what's best for the team. And I think that's why they've had so much success early on.
Yeah, and in the places where, look, if you go into the chat, Richmond, there are a lot of fans that are upset at Greer and missed offensive linemen in the draft, not going after guys like Creed Humphrey, not going after guys, like Quinn Mernez or Tristan Wirfs a couple of years ago. Do you think that they went after the guy? What do you think about that? Are you in the same idea or boat as the fans?
No, I look at it like this: based on where we were when they took over, you can't address all areas in 2 years. So you're gonna have to make some tough decisions. And I think with fans, they don't see that, and they'll say it's easy to see after the fact. Hindsight is 20/20. Well, we should do this, we should do this, we should do that. But of all the things we are doing, like I try to get people to see that, we have. Say even offensive line, but we went 10-6 last year. We one game away from making the playoffs. So a lot of times they focus on the little things, and I'm not saying it's little. Does it need to be addressed? Yes. Do I think they will address it? Yes. That's why I think you see they brought in a guy like Little. Everything the fans are saying, they see it. It's just they got to work within a salary cap and say, okay, if we could just go out and spend as much money we want, we could go get everybody we wanted. But you can't do that. Everybody got the same set of rules. So you got to play within those parameters. But I do think that area will be addressed. But I think that's why the defense was built. I think their focus was, okay, let's build a really good defense. They've done that. They went and got a quarterback Tua, and this year they've surrounded him with weapons at the wide receiver position.
Weapons, yes.
And I think they, even with Eichenberg, they moved up to, try to get a guy, but it just didn't happen. But not saying
Eichenberg, I think, is going to be fine. By the way, I think Eichenberg's going to work out real well.
But people don't pay attention to that. They just focus on what they
Well,
see.
we could have had Penei Sewell. We could have had, Tristan
But then
Wirfs.
you wouldn't have Jaden Waller. So it's just like,
You're right.
you gotta make that decision. So and I love Penei Sewell. I love a lot of the kids, but I know the Dolphins can't draft them. Everybody was talking about Najee Harris or a big running back.
Yep.
But even though we don't have it, like you just brought up the stats.
Myles Gaskin is.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah.
He's good.
Yeah.
Like he's the man, in my opinion. It's funny because him and Sullivan Ahmed are the running backs from Washington, and they've been teammates for years. But you saw them in the offseason working out together, and it looks like these guys have like stepped their game up tremendously, both of them, especially Gaskin. All right, there's two more things I want to talk to you about. Number one is when you played, there were 6 preseason games?
4. Sometimes 5 if you played in an overseas game, but normally 4. Okay. And then I think 1 year we played in Tokyo, 1 year we played in Mexico. We went to Berlin, so you'd play 5. You play an extra.
You played in Baltimore, right?
No.
You guys. I thought you guys played a preseason game before.
The Ravens. I was thinking about the Colts when you said that.
Nah. So if I'm, what year were you drafted?
I was drafted in 90.
If I'm correct, and I could be wrong, and maybe the Dolphins played a preseason game here in Baltimore before the Ravens were here at Old Memorial Stadium.
That might have been before me.
I
don't remember that. We played the Ravens. I think that was a regular season game. I think that was maybe
they came in the league in '96, and I want to say.
Ray
go
Lewis
ahead.
Came in what, 97?
No. Ray Lewis was the number 2 draft pick of them.
Remember,
their first 2 draft picks were Jonathan Ogden and Ray Lewis. Were their very first 2 draft picks.
Okay, so it might have been a year or 2. That was 96.
That was 96, man.
So it might have been. It might have been
Ozzie Newsome. You say what you want. That man could. He was a hell of a GM.
We played him because I remember we had a running back, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And
I remember
he
him.
played with Ogden at UCLA, and I remember Ray Lewis was there and Jonathan Ogden. So that might have been a regular season game. It wasn't a preseason game, but I think we played up there. So I think it was a regular season game, though.
I'm going to look it up, and I'm going to tag you on Twitter because I'm almost positive you guys did.
Okay.
But the reason I bring that up is, what do you think about these 3 preseason games compared to 4 or 5?
Well, they took away a preseason game because they added a regular season game.
Do you think it hurts, though, in the overall scheme of seeing what you have on the roster? Or do you like it? Do you not like it?
I mean, I like that it's 3 preseason games. I don't like that it's 17 regular season games. I think they should have left it at 16. But
they're going to 18. Like, that's going to happen. In the next 3 to 5 years, there will be 18 regular season games.
Yeah, that's a lot. And he keep talking about player safety and this and that, but you keep adding regular season games, which that's the games that
it's all about the money.
Yeah, that's all it's about. Yeah.
Joe Montana once said, I think it was Joe Montana, or maybe Brett Favre, one of those big time quarterbacks, but they said that if we played every other week, I could have played for an extra 5 to 10 years. Because in soccer they play like every 2 weeks, if I'm correct. So,
oh really?
Yeah. So I'm interested to know your thoughts. If they go to 18, would you be opposed to a much longer season, but every 2 weeks instead of every week? No, you don't like that. You there, Richmond? Richmond.
Yes. Can you hear me? I said I don't think they'll ever do that. That season will be way too long. Every other, they might add in another bye week or something. But if they go to 18 games,
they did say that if they go 18 weeks, there would be a second bye week.
Yeah.
So that's the case there. And then the very last question is, what do you think about the Cincinnati game coming up? Are you gonna expect to see the starters a lot? And the reason I say that is our starters went all the way up till halftime, but there is a week between there's actually 2 weeks. So it's like 14 days between the last preseason game and game 1. And And that's a lot of time. If you sit your starters, you're selling your starters 3 weeks of just sitting. I don't know if I like that.
I don't know. I just don't think that most teams are going to play their starters a lot, especially if it's the risk of injury too. I know it's normally the way that the 4 preseason game deal would work was the third game you would see the starters play at least a half and into the third quarter, and in the fourth it was just guys that were trying to make the team. So with this new format, I just think that I think you saw the starters probably play more this game. I don't believe you're going to see a lot from the starters against Cincinnati, even though, and I agree, that's a long time to sit without playing.
It's a long time.
I think they're going to just say that the risk is not worth the reward, and you probably won't see that.
Richmond, I appreciate you coming on this morning. Is there any final thoughts you want to say about the Dolphins or your thoughts of Saturday's game? Just any final thing about the current team or?
No, I like what they're doing. Let's get ready for week 1.
They can't get here quick enough.
Can't get here quick enough, but I think that's the thing that we need to, and we would do this a lot of times. Even though it was preseason, the last game we really wouldn't focus on it. We would start preparing for who we had to play the first week of the season and start working on that. Our game plan, we wouldn't necessarily show it during the game, but that's what we work on, and that's what they need to be working on, because I think the first 4 or 5 games can really determine how the season goes. Because we got some good games early on in the season, so we need to jump out and really do well. So that's what I'd be focused on.
Where can people find you on social media? And also, you have a pretty cool, amazing podcast with 2 pretty awesome guys, and Reason and Ball Game. Tell them about the Finish Line too.
Yes, the Finish Line. It's on DolphinsTalk.com. You can find it on there. I'm on Twitter. You can find me. I'm just Richmond Webb, just like my name. Facebook, I think I'm just about out of friend requests, so I'm on Facebook. But Twitter, you can find me on Twitter at Richmond Webb, and normally during the games you can find me because I'll start tweeting or whatever. I tweet more during the games than during the week, so that's where you can find me.
Look, man, I'd love to see you next Monday if it's possible, but are you coming down for week 2? Are you going to be there for the home opener in Miami?
No, I won't be there for the home opener.
What, is there a game that do you know if you're coming to any game? Probably alumni weekend, I would assume.
Yeah, alumni weekend. That's what I'm planning. I'm hoping the COVID numbers go down. But
you're going to keep a close eye on that. Yeah.
I'm definitely keeping a close eye on that.
How are things going on in Texas over there?
Same way as going in Florida. Sky high. Sky high.
I like the beard game, man. The beard game looks pretty good. Those gray hairs, like man, you make them look good, man. You make them look good.
Like you, but mine is, got a little bit more white in it. I need
just a little bit, just a little bit more white.
And darken it up a little bit so I can be like you.
Richmond, I love you, brother. You're the man, man. Thank you for coming on this morning.
All right, everybody have a great day, and we'll chop it up again. You have a good one, brother.
See you later, man. Peace. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was the great Richmond Webb. God, love that man. Like, let me just tell y'all something real quick. I've been doing this show now for a couple of months, about 3 months, and it's still cool that Richmond Webb. I still get those little jitters, man. That I know him. I talk to him. It's pretty cool. I love it, and he's I promise you, one of the greatest people you will ever meet. Nicest, kindest person you will ever meet. Gentle giant is the best way to put it, but one of the kindest people you ever meet. And a big shout out to Richmond. I love you, brother. I appreciate you coming on this morning. All right, so we got a little bit of time this morning. Want to bring you on. I want to hear your thoughts. This is a morning show made by the fans for the fans. First thing I need you guys to do, hit that like button. If you have not hit that like button already, what are y'all doing? Go hit that like button right now. Number 2, I also want to see y'all sign up, become a member today. Join. We got plenty of seats at the table. If you are not a member of the channel already, come on. What are you doing? Join now. Become a YouTube member. All right? All right, let's do that. And I want to see y'all come on. So let me put the invite for y'all to come in here. Y'all can hang out with me. I want to hear what y'all's thoughts of what maybe Richmond said, as well as your thoughts of the game on Saturday. Come on, let's talk. Let's have a little bit of a panel this morning. And let's enjoy it, man. Let's enjoy it. Enjoy it. Come on. Let's talk. If y'all have a question, y'all want me to answer anything, I want to hear from you guys. George says, great show, guys. Let's do our part by sharing the show and smashing that like button. My man. Awesome. George says he really is the best all day. He really is, man. Chef Shoes, subscribe, like, share, and become a member today. Glad to see Richmond Webb was on here. Fins up. Richmond is the man. Richmond is the man. Flip side. Love it. What's the difference between sitting down starters in preseason or after clinching a playoff spot? Good question, Cap for Life. All right, so here's the thing. This preseason, it's not like they go preseason week 1. It's preseason week 3, bye week, another bye week, an off week, and then week 1. So if you sit the starters, they're essentially having 3 weeks off from the last time they played a game to game 1. I don't know if I like 3 weeks. Like, that's a long time, essentially 21 days. And I don't like that. I would rather see them play. My heart was in my stomach when Waddle went down. And when Waddle came back out, I was like, that's what I want to see. And it honestly further confirmed for me that I want to see starters play more. Because I feel as though they need to get ready. Right? Yeah, he's such a good guy. All right, let's bring on Ennis. What's up, Ennis?
Hey, what's going on, Steve?
How are you, man? Did you like Richmond this morning?
Oh man, that was a treat. I love that.
Hey, he's the man. I love that guy.
And when a guy that played for the organization and played in the league says stuff like that, you got to take it for what it's worth.
100%, man. 100%. All right, well, tell me your thoughts of the game, man. What did you think?
I was like everybody else. I loved it. I was just like I said. Remember on your pod, your stream last week, we were saying that the line struggled. Everybody was kind of off in practice because of the 3 days off. So what I was looking for, I wanted to see that dog in the team. Like, we dominated the first quarters against Chicago. Then, the backups let it go. I wanted to see if they was going to put the metal, all stringers, just keep it on, you know what I'm saying? Pushing the envelope to win or get better or whatever you want to say. And I saw that. That's all I was looking for. I wanted to see the dog in Tua and the dog in Gaskins, and I see that. And Waddle, I seen him want to fight to get back in the game. That's what you want to see, your stars. That's leadership. That makes the other players jump up. Like, if Waddle, a rookie, could have easily said, "Nah, I ain't going back out there. I'll wait." He fighting to get back in a preseason game. That shows you the culture of the team we have, showing that they willing. If our rookies willing to jump back in there and fight to get back in there, then we got to come with it. And that trickled all the way down. You can tell they celebrating like it was a regular season game for whoever scored. These boys is hype, and that's what I got. I ain't gonna take too much time, but that's what I got.
Yeah, no, totally, no doubt. Let me bring in Douglas. What's up, Doug?
Hey, good morning. How's everybody?
Hey, turn the phone again. Let me see. I saw you in the back room there. Doug, oh man, is that my ugly mug? Look at my ugly mug up there. I like it. Got me on the big screen. How's it going, man?
Pretty good. I want everybody to repeat after me now. Everybody listening?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Repeat after me. Sam E. Guavin.
Sam E. Guavin.
Iguavin.
He's a beast, man.
Yes,
11
he is.
tackles, 4 sacks, a safety. He was everywhere on Saturday night. It didn't matter what team he was playing on, whether it was first, second, or third team. The dude was just there.
He made a statement. That's definitely sure.
100%. Let me bring on 2 other amazing people, Estefan and Z-Man. What's up, gentlemen?
What's going on, y'all? Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Chet. Good morning. Good morning. How y'all doing?
How y'all doing, man?
Pretty good.
I'll start out with Z-Man. Z-Man, what'd you think of the game on Saturday?
It pretty much went how I was expecting to go. I didn't really expect the Atlanta defense to really give us too much trouble. Even though I knew they were gonna be playing some of their starters, I still didn't feel like we were gonna have too much trouble with them.
We dominated them. We scored the second most points of any team in preseason week 2.
Yeah, and do you see that stat where I think Tua is like top 5 in what is it? Not efficiency, and
I did not see whatever stat you're saying, but I will look it up.
I'm gonna get it to you. I saw it today. It was pretty strange to see that that out of because mostly backups played during the preseason, so he was the only starter on that list. And he was top 5 on it. I think it was the percentage, like pass percentage or something like that.
Mm-hmm. I'll have to look. Estefan, man, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, man, I caught what I could, but just like I said last week, I knew something was going to happen. It didn't record. Well, there's going to be another replay, I think, tonight at midnight. Anyways, man, the offense looked good. They look like, they're progressively getting better, which is what you want to see. You don't want to see like, some of the issues that we had last year where, we look good and we look bad and, we kind of plateaued, or we look good and look bad. It was just really inconsistent. It looks like there's going to be some consistency this year. And I think from what I saw, man, it looks like that right side is going to be ready to go as far as the run game goes, man. I think Hunt is the key to just getting it going, between Hunt and Jesse Davis. I like that Eichenberg played. He played well. Last but not least, of course, Aguavin. Well, no, last but not least, I would say Matt Collins, man. You know what I mean? What can you say about the dude?
Mac is he's a beast. He's a beast.
Yeah, man. I mean, dude, we need all. You had 2 guys stand out in 2 positions that we need depth: wide receiver and linebacker, and that means a lot. As far as the offensive line goes, just like I said, it's just about them getting them reps, and it looks like as far as the run game goes, it's going to start on that right side, man. Even what's his name? Brown had a pretty good carry there in the game, so he showed up, man. So that's what's up.
I know I've asked this question before, and I want to ask all of you. I appreciate you guys being on mute too, so just take yourself off mute whenever you answer the question, and then put yourself back on. But 5, 6, 7, or 8, how many wide receivers is this team taking with them?
8. You got no choice. The young guys are showing up, and you need as much receivers as you can take in the regular season, because more than likely someone's gonna get hurt. And if we gonna have to come down, like you don't want to use Matt Holland as receiver. You want him to be more of a special teamer, because his job was special team ace, right? So realistically, if one of the receivers go down, we're gonna lose that special team advantage that we had. So I think we should keep 8.
So you have 8, Z-Man. Ennis, how about you?
I say 7.
7. Any particular reason, or any particular guy you think's just gonna miss it?
I think because they're gonna want to keep an extra lineman and an extra linebacker, so we have to think about that. A linebacker is also one of the not the deepest, so they're gonna want to keep somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like Sam is making it hard, Griffin is making it hard. We got to think about that, and they're gonna want to keep an extra offensive lineman just in case. So that's why I say 7.
Yeah, if somebody asked me would Sam have made this roster before the preseason, I probably would have said he's definitely a bubble guy. Probably not. Now that he's having the preseason that he's having, in my opinion, he's a lock for the 53. But that might mean that a wide receiver doesn't make this team because they're going to add one more linebacker. So I 100% can see what you're saying there. Douglas?
I guess I'd say 7. That's what I've kind of been leaning on most of the preseason. I'd like to say 8, but I can't be greedy. If you keep 8, we got to lose someone else, and I don't know where they would lose it from. They would lose a tight end or what. I do know that if you see more people doing return kicks and you don't see Jakeem Grant, they may be looking to find someone that's going to replace him because they're thinking of cutting him. I don't know. That's just an opinion.
But you know what? You bring up a good point, Douglas. I still think because of how good Kirk Merritt is, because of how good Matt Collins is, because of some of these young guys, plus the 7 guys who didn't play. Like, if you go with the 7 guys who didn't play, and you then add Matt Collins, and you add Waddle, that's 8-9 right there. Matt Collins and Waddle are 8 and 9, not including the 7 that didn't play.
But one of the 7s was injured. Not all.
That's true.
Just 6
but even still, that's 8 then. That's
right.
8. That's 8 right off the bat. And that doesn't include Kirk Merritt.
Kirk Merritt got to make the team, bro. He got too much potential.
I want him to. My hope is that if you have an opportunity to put him on the practice squad and hide him there and protect him, you do it.
He's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna make the practice squad.
So there are rules that I read last night that you can protect 4 practice squad players on a week-to-week basis.
Yeah, I know that, but he gotta have to clear waivers. I don't think he's gonna clear waivers. Someone's gonna. He's 6'2", and runs a 4.4. Someone's gonna pick that up.
That's true.
Can I give you my 7 and y'all tell me if I'm missing something?
Okay.
I would keep Parker, Preston, Fuller, Wilson, Waddle, Merritt, and Hollins.
So who's missing from there?
Grant, Isaiah Ford, Lynn Bowden, Malcolm Perry.
And it's funny because I think you got to keep either Lynn Bowden or Malcolm Perry
on the practice
because either one of those guys brings you a different dynamic to that roster.
So then we have to keep 8 because who you gonna get rid of out of that 7?
Nobody.
They just gonna have to get creative with the depth chart. Yeah. They're gonna have to change some positions, make people running backs, make people tight ends. They gonna have to figure it out. I don't think we really need 4 tight ends, and I don't really think we need 4 running backs. I'd rather have Lynn Bowden as the 4th running back if needed, which I think.
I don't think we need Smythe either.
But Bowden could definitely play that 4th running back. I 100% agree with that. I just brought on my man Cap for life. What's up, Cap?
Hey, good morning, guys. How was your weekend, everybody?
It's better now that I'm talking to you.
Hey, man, likewise. I look, topic at hand. We seen Bowden, we seen Waddle. We got scares out of both of them. All right, do we risk playing Merritt and Hollins this next preseason game? I think it's going to be meaningless. I mean, unless you want to see what we have in the O-line and in the wide receiver depth. But do you risk having an injury occur with these guys also? Do you sit them also?
Matt Collins, I would say no. Kirk Merritt, Kai Loxley, Robert Foster. I think all 3 of those guys should get
Foster, yes.
Yeah, I think all 3 of those guys should get a majority of the playing time.
Because if the starters are rested, who are you going to put out there for the preseason game?
Yeah.
Got to have somebody playing those positions. But, Gesicki plays wide receiver, so, Gesicki could do it.
Hey, real quick, what do y'all think about putting Mike Hollins at position tight end to take up one of the rooms?
So last year, Hollins was considered a tight end.
Get rid of Smythe and put him in that role. That way we can keep an extra receiver.
But I need y'all to remember something. If that's the case, which is fine, we don't have a blocking tight end then. Because Gesicki's not a blocking tight end. You bring in Mac into that position, he's not a blocking tight end.
Shaheen ain't good either.
Shaheen is not good, in my opinion, at blocking. So Smythe is the only durable blocking tight end.
This is why we want to pay Mike Gesicki $10 million next year. Really? Okay.
But Gesicki's not a tight end. I'm trying to tell y'all people this. He doesn't play from the tight end position.
We know that, but we just said that's what they said. So
I'm just telling you. So it's funny, but this is a good look. We're debating here. 8 wide receivers, 3 or 4 tight ends. Who do you put in that last running back position? Because Bowden could play be a running back, and we can put him anywhere we want. But the reality is that, you know, there are certain positions where you need certain things, and our offensive line is our biggest weakness. So if we think that our O-line is our biggest weakness, then we probably should have a good blocking tight end there. And if Smythe is the only durable blocking tight end, you can't get rid of Smythe. That's just my opinion on it.
If you look at the footage when we run the ball, he's always in the game. He can block, and he's always proved it. That's why he's still on the roster as a starter. You see him more tight end slots than you do Gesicki. That's true.
100%. 100%.
It's just a tough situation to be in. Like you want Gesicki out there most of the time, but he just, like you said, he doesn't fulfill the role that he need to fulfill. He fulfills the pass catching role, but there's more to being a tight end than just pass catching.
Yeah, I know y'all don't want to hear it, but Jakeem Grant's making this team, y'all.
No, he's not.
There's no way you take a guy with that much speed away from this team the way he's playing right now. The coaches, they have to be thinking hard about letting him go. I mean, dude, because it's just it enhances to his plays when you got a guys with speed. And you know, he might be inconsistent. He might have been inconsistent last year, but to be honest with you, I think it takes a toll on the entire team when we're inconsistent. You know what I mean?
No, he didn't catch
At every position. So
he didn't catch a pass. I agree. He's still not catching passes in games. Practice is not good enough. He's not catching.
But sometimes with a guy like that, the rhythm of the offense, he's the type of guy that can play into the rhythm of the offense. And so if we're hitting on all cylinders, whenever you need Jakeem to come up, the coaches are going to know that you can actually get something productive out of him. That's what I'm saying.
Well, let me ask everybody a question. Jakeem Grant or Matt Collins?
Matt Collins.
Keep both of them and get rid of Perry. Get rid of
both of them.
But here's a reality, guys. Time out. Here's a reality. That might not be the case. It might come down to that eight. It could be that 8th wide receiver slot or that 7th wide receiver slot. Come down to, do you either keep Matt Collins or do you keep Jakeem Grant?
You can't keep both of them. If you end up keeping both of them, all the receivers you brought in was for nothing. That's how I see
it. You can't cut Patrick Laird, because Patrick Laird's a good gunner also on special teams. You can't cut who else? The majority of the special team players that are good on special teams, you can't cut them, and it's a difficult move to make. But I think Malcolm Perry, for me, hasn't really displayed anything that's phenomenal to be on this roster, to be honest with you.
I mean, I'm not sure. Let me bring on Big John. What's up, Big John?
I just.
What up, people? Good morning to everybody, man.
Big Juan.
All right, man. First of all, I want to say thank you to all you guys, man, for all the prayers. After surgery, man, I'm getting my stitches out today, which is a week early. So I guess I got to give everybody credit for all the well wishes, man. I appreciate that. That's one. 2, Richmond Webb should be a Hall of Famer like 80 times over. So there should be a criminal investigation into that. And 3, I love you, Steven. So what were you guys talking about? Because I just was able to get on now.
Well, let me bring on Rashad, too. What's up, Rashad?
Morning,
Rashad?
All right, so the question on the table here is, when it comes down to that 7th or 8th wide receiver position, is it going to be Matt Collins or is it going to be Jakeem Grant? Because the reality is, I put Jakeem all the way behind all those guys, in my opinion. And in my opinion, Matt Collins, I think, is the better asset for this team at wide receiver than Jakeem Grant, because you have other people, that can return kicks.
Yeah.
Let me know when you want me to talk. I don't like talking over you anymore. You got mad at me last week, and I felt offended.
Rashad, what are your thoughts on that?
That's a tough one. Mac Hollins has been solid, but I think we've seen this weekend, Saturday, Jakeem Grant mixed with Waddle. I don't know how it is because we still have Albert Wilson. It's just the fear of speed that opens up the offense. Like, they give us 7 yards off the jump. And with the RPO or play action, it is opening up more opportunity for us. And all we got to do is get the ball in the hands of these playmakers. Like, I'm upset that we didn't get the ball in
1, 2, 3,
Salvin
4, 5,
Ahmed's
6,
hands
7, 8.
as often, because I seen Gaskins getting off, and he's not even an elusive guy. But I don't know. I still believe it's going to be Matt Collins, but Jakeem, he looked like Jakeem 4 years ago for his couple of touches that he did get.
I don't think we're losing much if Jakeem is gone because our whole team is fast. It's not really like we got slow guys no more. They brought in a whole bunch of speed this offseason for this one reason. I don't think
All right. I love everybody who loves Jakeem Grant. May Allah bless y'all. Jakeem Grant's not making this team. If you're gonna lose a player, you would. If you lose Kurt Merritt or you lose Matt Hollins over Jakeem Grant, you're downgrading in talent because even though Jakeem Grant is fast and he does return punts, like Steven said, you got like 16 guys that can return punts on the team. First of all, second of all, everybody has better hands than Jakeem Grant. And third of all, for example, Kurt Merritt runs a 4.3 240. He's 6'1". He does the same thing as Jakeem Grant. He's taller, he's faster, he's stronger, and Jakeem Grant makes $3 million more. So if you're just gonna go by the fact of who makes more money and does less for the team, Jakeem Grant would be that. That's one. And two, the speed and the space that you're gonna get from that Texas route, like you guys saw, Miles Gaskin when he caught that angle route on the linebacker, that's gonna be there all season. And we were doing that with backup wide receivers. So regardless of who the receivers are, if Jakeem's even on the team, because he might not even be on the field, that's gonna be there all year, the entire season, just because they have to respect the speed element. So if it was me, Jakeem Grant wouldn't be on this team. I don't have a hatred for Jakeem Grant at all in any sense of the word because I'm always a negative one towards Jakeem Grant. But I'm not going to pay you $4 million just to catch punts. You need to do something else. And that's what Waddle does. That's what, people forget that we still have Lynn Bowden.
That's why I'm about to say Lynn Bowden. I was literally about
Lynn
to say
Bowden.
Lynn Bowden is like, and even Malcolm Perry.
I'm going to ask you guys a simple question. We know Malcolm Perry's not going to make this team, but I'm going to ask a question. If you put Lynn Bowden on the Patriots and you put Jakeem Grant on the Patriots, which one of the two do you think has a better season?
Lynn Bowden.
All
day.
That's all you have to say. So who do you keep? You just answered the question.
That's what I'm saying. If he plays in this third preseason game, Jakeem Grant, they're gonna trade.
He will. Jakeem's gonna get a lot of snaps in this third.
Yeah.
They've been trying to trade him.
His trade value is going to go up after week 3 if we.
This smells trade. This has trade smell all over it. We got 8 receivers, man.
The thing is, other teams are going to be looking like, why trade when the Dolphins? They know that we're going to have to cut him. He's just going to have to show out to the point where the team is like, I don't want him on an open market. I got to get him now.
And that's the problem that you're going to have. There's going to be guys that they hit the open market, there people want them. So the Dolphins need to figure out, can I get anything for any of these guys without losing something on our roster? Let me bring in Miami football talk real quick. What's up, Miami football talk?
Coño Chicho.
What's up?
What's up, my guy? How are you?
What's going on, everybody? Good morning.
What are your thoughts about Saturday, and what are your thoughts about the conversation that we're having right now about these wide receiver positions?
I think Saturday the Dolphins came out and they made a statement that everybody should keep their eyes open and their pants tied up nice and tight when it comes ready to game day. According to the statement, Jakeem Grant is staying. Here's why. Last year, the best position is availability. Regardless of how fast you are, how good you are, how great your hands are, how much you do, it doesn't matter. If you can't get on the field, it don't matter. Jakeem Grant was on the field. He's always on the field. It don't matter what game, where he is, he's on the field. And that makes a difference, a huge difference.
But you got to be able to produce on the field too.
Okay.
Just being out
So
there,
last year he was the
Doesn't
only
help.
one on the field compared to all
But
the
was he
second and third string
passing? He
receivers.
was dropping
This
third down
time when he's on the field, he's gonna have
You
Waddle,
guys are
he's gonna
coming
have
from a logistics.
Parker.
I don't mean to cut you off, Miami football, but I agree with what you're saying, and I just believe that there's two sides of the coin here. It sounds like you guys are coming more from the logistics side. I'm just coming from the side of what's actually happening out on the field. And you saw you're going to have possibly injuries, guys are missing games. You know, you want as much as depth as you can get. I just don't see how you get rid of somebody like Grant if you see he's not going to be taking on number one cornerbacks. You know what I mean? He's going to be in the slot, most likely. I mean, where else are you going to put him? He's going to give you production. You know what I mean? He's an asset. So I just don't see how you get rid of somebody like that. You're going to have him on special teams.
The problem is,
What
like
was
you
his
said,
receiving
when people
production
get
last
hurt.
year?
Go ahead, Z-Man.
Like you said, when people get hurt, he is gonna have to play, and if he doesn't play well, there's no point to keep him. We already seen that he's not gonna play well. I don't think he's gonna get any better. There's no changing in what happened last year.
Look, nobody's denying. And Miami Football Talk, I'll bring you in here in a second. There's no denying that Jakeem Grant is a Pro Bowler, punt returner, kickoff returner, right? Like, there's no denying. Nobody's arguing that. Mm-hmm. But the reality is, he's not. He's good, but he's not like so. He's not
he's not Devin Hester.
He's not Devin Hester. That's the guy.
We're not gonna lose anything if we lose him. When we actually need receivers, it's gonna happen because someone's gonna get hurt. When we need receivers, he is not gonna step up in a way that we're gonna feel comfortable. We're paying him as if he can step up in a way that we're gonna feel comfortable. We don't feel comfortable when he's playing.
Miami Football Talk.
Tua needs weapons. He's not a weapon for Tua.
Go ahead, Miami Football Talk.
Am I on mute or not?
No, you're not on mute. Go ahead.
All right, here we go. So, if we were running the Wildcat, who would you want running the Wildcat with?
Lynn Bowden or Malcolm Perry?
Yep.
No more Wildcat, bro. Fling the ball, bro. No more Wildcat.
Yeah, guys, in my opinion, Grant doesn't make this team because there's not room for him. Not because he's not good enough. There's not.
I think Steven's on mute.
I have a question. So I can hit something on the honest because I don't remember the rule or not. If a player starts the season on the pup, does it count against the 53?
It does not.
So what if we had one of these receivers and start the season on the pup because they're slightly injured or whatever? They can't play until week 7 or week 8?
No, you have 3 weeks, 3 weeks, 7 week, and 8 week up now.
Yeah, so they play someone on the pup. They don't come in until later in the season. By then, we probably have some injuries, some people out. We could probably bring them back. They play from that point on, and at that point, we might be able to cut someone off the roster to make room. You know, I don't know if that's an option or not, but that's just something to think about.
Look, it's not how it's supposed to be used, but it's how it will be used.
Yeah.
Big John.
What up, man?
Nah, it seemed like you wanted to get in a couple of times. I
was gonna. I don't like overstepping anymore. But look, let's call a spade a spade. Jakeem Grant is not even the 8th best receiver on our team. We're talking about someone who makes $4 million. If Jakeem Grant didn't make $4 million, he could hand me water bottles when I'm thirsty. But Jakeem Grant cannot catch a football. There's nothing you can do about that. For whatever reason, he's a practice warrior. He will catch everything in practice you throw at him. But when the game comes, I don't know if he has PTSD from a football. I don't know if he has nausea, if he has motion sickness or something. He drops everything you throw at him. And we already saw last season that when he needs to play a prominent role, he can't produce. He just can't. It's not his fault. It's just not his role. I've heard people say, oh, but he's not a wide receiver. Well, then what is he? because he's too small to be a running back. He's not big enough to be a running back, and you can't put him as a wide receiver. So what is he? Are you going to pay somebody $4 million? Are you going to pay somebody $4 million just to be a gadget player when you have Jalen Waddle, who's just as fast, more dynamic, makes less money, and is a better overall player than Jakeem Grant could ever be? So that to me answers the question. And when you have Lynn Bowden, who isn't even 1/4 of the receiver Jalen Waddle is, still better than Jakeem Grant. Jakeem Grant on this team doesn't make the squad just because of the receiver depth that we have. There's no way he makes the team.
Okay, so let me ask you. You got Fuller, Devontae, Williams, Waddle. Who else?
Wilson. Bowden.
Okay.
Everybody agrees with Bowden?
You also have Waddle. I mean, not Waddle. I'm sorry. You also have Patrick Laird, Dokes, and Scarlett, and I don't know how many other running backs, but not all 6 of these guys are making the squad.
Here we just talk about receivers, Cap.
Yeah, I know, but
Miami
you can
football
compensate. You can compensate and keep the receivers if you cut all these running backs also.
Here's another thing too. I need y'all to think about this, all right? Because here's the reality: there's going to be good football players that get cut from this team.
Yep.
Because there are not.
Yeah.
There's not room for them.
Yeah.
And I need people to come to that realization right now.
And then the Patriots will pick them up and they'll play.
But you know what? People are going to be like, we never should have cut that person. I'm telling you right now, in the fan base, there'll be controversial cuts with this team, but there shouldn't be, because at the end of the day,
not getting cut.
I could see Merritt getting cut. I don't mean to cut you off, Steven, but.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Grant. I'm sorry. I could see Grant getting cut if Merritt does a whole lot better in this game coming up, because of the fact that, I think he had more. They passed to him more in this game. I don't remember. It looked like they didn't pass to Jakeem too much, man. But Jakeem was returning, and he did decent. So they might just be. You guys might be right that he might be a display for somebody to pick up. But I don't know, man. That's the speed, and the fact that he can return. The speed and with the fact that he can return kicks, man. I just think it'd be an idiot, bonehead thing to do after you saw what happened to Waddle, dude. I believe everybody got scared. Dude, when that happened, I was like, dude, you got to be shitting me.
But you're not keeping him on the team because he's an asset. You're keeping him on the team because you're afraid of putting Waddle back there. I'm not going to keep somebody on the team making $4 million just because you're afraid of letting somebody else return punts. That's one of the reasons they drafted him at 6 overall. He can return punts. He's dynamic every time he touches the ball. That's not going to change, bro. They're not going to let Jalen Waddle just sit there and not let him return punts. He was the best punt returner in the last 4 years in college football. He does it better than anybody in the league right now, this very second, including Jakeem Grant. Okay?
Well, he sure didn't show that in preseason against Grant.
What are you talking about? Jalen Waddle got 1 punt return, faked 3 guys out of their shoes, and ran for 26 yards, bro.
And the Dolphins, and the reason he didn't play in this preseason game.
Grant ran for how long? For how much? You overpowered him, bro. Think about it.
Had one good kickoff in the first preseason game, and the coaches all looked at each other and were like, "Yep, he can do this. We're not playing him anymore at that for this preseason. He will be there though week 1."
Thank you.
Wait, who will be there week 1?
Waddle. All right, guys, check it out. I actually have somewhere to be this morning. I have another job now that I will be starting today, so I'm pretty excited about that. But the morning show obviously keeps going the way that it is, so we're going to be wrapping up just a little bit earlier than usual these days. So I need everybody to give me their final thoughts of the day. We'll start with Miami football talk.
Listen, I just want to say I hope everybody's having a great week, a good Monday, a good start to their week. Let's go, Fins. I hope everybody agrees with me when I say that we put the field on notice, we put the NFL on notice, and let them know that we're here to stay, and y'all better be ready. Jakeem Grant ain't going nowhere. He's staying with the team, and he's going to produce for us this year.
Why do you want to
Till next
depress my
time, I'll see
Monday?
y'all tomorrow. Peace
Sounds
out.
good, Miami football talk. All right, man. Let's go with Rashad.
Yeah. So I just want everybody to get ready. Y'all see how we looked with our, I guess you can call them second and third string receivers. Well, third string receivers because we're missing 4 starters in my eyes. I said it Friday. We gotta get the ball in Waddle hands early to open up this offense. And the one thing I was afraid of, the one thing that I seen the weakness in Tua, he couldn't get over that cover 2 because he was getting the ball out too early. He didn't have a pocket presence. But now he's sitting there waiting patiently. We seen the cover 2 from Atlanta, and he tore it apart. He annihilated it. So everybody prepare yourselves. I think we're going somewhere this year.
I 100% agree with you, Rashad. Thanks for coming on, brother. I'll see you tomorrow.
Y'all stay blessed.
Stay blessed, man. Want to remind everybody before y'all leave this stream, please go share this stream today. This was awesome having Richmond Webb on and the mini panel that we had here. Please go and rewatch and reshare this with as many people as you can so we can get those likes up as well as those eyes on this episode today. All right, man. Let me get Doug in here. Doug. You're on mute. There you
go. Really, I think the bottom line comes down to I hope we keep Jakeem Grant. I really do. But in the end, if we can't afford to keep him, I understand. I think what might determine it is of the people are trying out as kick returners, who gives us the best field position overall at the end of the day. If Jakeem Grant gives us the best starting field position, then I think he makes the team. Other than that, thanks, Stephen D, for bringing on Richmond Webb and all that you do. It was fantastic. One of my heroes from when I was younger, and it was great to hear from him. And we'll see y'all guys next time.
Douglas, you're the man, brother. Thank you.
Take care.
All right, Z-Man.
I just don't see a point to keep Grant. Our problem is always when the receivers go down, we gotta have to rely on the special teamers, and when the special teamers don't show up, we get mad. But you know what? If they keep Grant, it is what it is. I guess we just gotta figure out it as we go along with the season, and like always. So, fins up.
Fins up, Z-Man. Appreciate you coming on. All right, man. Let me bring in Big John.
What up, man? I'll put it very simple, man. Jakeem Grant is an asset for another team, but right now, unfortunately, his price tag, he doesn't play up to his price tag. He just doesn't. He's not worth $4 million. He doesn't do enough as a receiver. They can throw him the ball. I'm gonna Estefan. I think you made a comment earlier. I'm gonna backtrack on you a little bit. I think Jakeem Grant and Kurt Merritt, I think they were targeted about the same amount of times. Kurt Merritt had more yards and he had a touchdown. Jakeem Grant had a 15-yard pass, and I think that was about it. He had about 25 yards total offense. And Kurt Merritt had like 60 and a touchdown. I just think that, unfortunately, he doesn't fit this year. We're going to be saying the same thing about Gesicki next year if we don't re-sign him. There's no place to put him. You're a slot receiver, but we have slot receivers. If it was a year where we didn't go 10 receivers deep, I totally agree with you. But this year, with the amount of talent that they brought in, there's just no place for him. I mean, the only person he's better than, in my opinion, is Malcolm Perry. That's the only receiver I can say that Jakeem Grant I think is better than. Other than that, who's he better than? There's nobody on the squad that he is a better receiver than right now. And returning punts, we have like 10 people who can return punts. So I just think that's one thing. And I'm going to make a comment real quick. I said thank you to you guys earlier. I'm going to say it again. But one thing is, I noticed people talk about how good the offensive line was. Okay? The offensive line wasn't that good. I'm going to explain why I say that. We need to have them block when Tua does that 7-step drop. If Tua doesn't get sacked on that play, that's a 40-yard touchdown to Jalen Waddle, who was wide open. I don't measure my offensive line with anybody in the AFC East except for the Bills and Kansas City, the teams that we need to beat. Everybody else to me is irrelevant. I don't care if we block against them, we run against them. We need to block and run against Buffalo, New England, and Kansas City. If we can't stand up against them, it doesn't matter how good they do. The Falcons, I don't care. The Bears, I don't care. The Ravens, it doesn't matter. If you cannot block and give Tua time for that play action pass to be able to hit the ball downfield to Waddle and Fuller, it's going to be irrelevant. So Austin Jackson, he's been put on notice. And that signing, that was a direct message to Austin Jackson that he needs to get his stuff together, or they're going to find somebody who can. Because, and Malcolm Brown, you need to learn to block, my friend. You really do need to learn to block, bro. Other than that, I love you guys, man.
I love you too, brother. Get back, feel better. Get those stitches out.
Yeah. I'm telling you, bro. You guys must have done something because he was like, "Oh, come in next
prayer,
Monday."
brother. The power of prayer, man. I love you, brother. Be good.
All right, guys. I love you guys, man. Y'all be good.
Yep. All right, Estefan, on you.
Yeah, man, Big John. Actually, that's exactly what I was saying. That Perry was actually targeted more, but he wasn't playing against first team or anything. So my whole thing with Grant is you see the value there as far as the return game, and you have to be thinking to yourself that you can maximize the whole team overall with keeping guys healthy. That has to be in your thoughts because in the coach's thoughts, because look at how many starters didn't play. Some sat out, Nick, whatnot. They have to be considering Jakeem actually being on the team. I know, we'd save some money, but it's what it is, man. He adds depth to the team. Last thing, what's his name? Donald? Was it the Donald? Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to all the elves in the North Pole, man. You're rocking that beard, bro. And Richmond Webb, man. Vote for Richmond Webb, y'all. Hall of Fame bound. Thanks for having me on, Steve.
Love you, brother. Be good. All right, and then there was one. Cap for life, man. End us off right. Take yourself off mute, Cap. We can't hear you, Cap.
Yeah, sorry, guys. I feel after hearing everything that was said today, this morning, man, these are all good problems compared to what I've seen these past couple of days with all these other NFL teams. This preseason, I think we're okay. We have a good balance of defense and offense. And yeah, man, just keep it up, man. The interview was great, man. Thank you, Steven, man. I'm gonna go dye my beard silver right now, man. Have a good day, man.
Love you, brother. Be good, man. All right, y'all are the best fans in the world. I need y'all to know that. Y'all are so awesome. I want to remind everybody that today's show, please go back and watch it again and hit that like button and share it. Tell all these people that Richmond Webb was on this morning. Need you guys to obviously do that and share that. Want to remind everybody that we're going to be back here first thing tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to talk about training camp, and we're going to talk back into the wide receivers, but about the injuries. And I want to get more in depth about that. So we're going to talk about that on tomorrow's show. So make sure you guys are here for that. And then I want to remind everybody tomorrow night, episode 6 of Hell Fins Podcast, the Spanish-speaking podcast, only on Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. They will be recapping the preseason game number 2 against the Atlanta Falcons in Miami. So make sure you guys go check out Paris, Chochos, and Armand of the Dolphins Nation Mexico fan club. And they're awesome and amazing show. I do want to remind people that usually on Monday nights, we have an amazing show called the Fire and Ice Podcast Show. But obviously, there's a lot of things that go on into that. And one of those things is, Angel Ortiz is somebody who does that. And Angel had a personal thing come up this evening. So he is going to push this evening's show to next week. But y'all are going to be in for a big treat next week. He's got an amazing show next week. So there will be no Monday show this week for the Fire and Ice Combat Sports Show. But I do want to remind you guys that it will be back next week at 8 p.m. Make sure you guys are here. Angel Ortiz, each and every Monday. You get the best combat sports coverage and interviews from the best fighters around UFC, boxing, MMA, bare knuckle. Had a huge weekend this past weekend. And Angel will get on with you with that next week. So make sure you guys are here next Monday for that. It's going to be good stuff. Okay. All right, guys, y'all are the best. I love you guys. Please hit that like button, donate to the channel, help the channel grow. If you guys can't do it on the YouTube, you guys can do it through Cash App, which is MSM Podcast Network, or you guys can also do PayPal, MSM Podcast Network. Y'all the best. Shout out one more time to Tail Greeters, our sponsors of the show. Make sure you go to tailgreeter.com. And obviously, Clock Blockers every weekday morning at 8:30 a.m., Monday through Friday, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. All right, guys, y'all be good. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.